Hello everyone, welcome to another breakdown video. Today I'm going to show you how I built the Trivia Game Show Challenge, and this is a trivia challenge. It's broken up into 4 different categories of 5 trivia questions each, and then if you get all of the questions correct within a 7-minute period, you will be taken to the Wall of Fame and you will win a prize. So if you want to play this experience before I break it down for you, feel free to scan this code here on the right hand side. And without further ado, let's jump right into this thing. So before I break it down, let's zoom out so you can see the entire structure of this experience. And again, it looks like a lot. We're using a lot of blocks in this one, but it's fairly simple once you break it down. So I'm going to go ahead and break down each section. So pay attention to the video annotations and follow along, and then we'll go into the specifics of the experience. So here at the top left corner, we have our intro scene, and this has a small menu that shows you how to play. It allows you to begin the game, and then it allows you to exit the experience. Directly underneath that are the instructions on how to play this game. And then we have a set of user property blocks, which I will get into once we go into specifics. We set a time gate right here. We check the time gate, and then we go into our categories. And so this will allow you to select one of 4 categories. So we've got our different categories are nature, technology, sports, and pop culture. And then I'm going to break down for you each row, which is one category. So if you see each row, it's a little bit bigger because we've got 2 scenes here, but each of these is a category, and it's using a lot of user properties and manipulating those user properties to track various types of points. So we do this 4 times. And then we have a 5th button here in the category menu that will take you to the Wall of Fame. And you can see here in this end section, we have our Wall of Fame, and then we give a small trophy as a prize and end the experience. So let's dive into the specifics of the experience. So I'm going to zoom back in here. And I kind of said this a little bit earlier, but here in our first scene, we have our intro scene. So it shows you how to play. You can start the game or you can exit the experience. And then directly underneath, we have the instructions. So you'll have 7 minutes to answer questions in 4 categories, and there is 5 questions per category. All questions need to be answered correctly to win a category point. And once you collect each category point before the time runs out, you will earn a spot on the Wall of Fame. And so that is the instructions, and then it takes you back to this main menu. And when you click on Begin Game, what we're doing here is we're setting a user property category points. And so these are the points that are going to track whether or not each category was completed. And then directly after that, what I'm doing is I'm basically setting a switch. So each category I labeled by color, and so pink complete, the value is no for this. So for all the categories, they're going to start off as a no value, or this could be a 0 if you want to use numbers. So then immediately after that, we set our time gate for 420 seconds, which equals 7 minutes. I just called this a TGS time gate. If you don't know what TGS stands for, it stands for Trivia Game Show. So all of my key names have TGS somewhere in the title. And then immediately we are taken to our category section. So in each category, you have the option to select one of 4 categories, and then you have the button for the Wall of Fame. So let's dive into the nature category, and just keep in mind all of the categories are set up in the exact same way. So the first thing we do in each category is we'll set the points in the specific category. So this is different from the category points. So I separated it by color. These are called pink points, and every question you get correct will increment that point by one. Another thing I wanted to note while we're here is I used custom backgrounds for each of these scenes. So if you go into scene background, so I went in and I found all of these really cool phone backgrounds, and all you have to do is copy this URL, and then you'll paste it in this URL advanced section of scene backgrounds. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is all of these scenes have custom sounds to them. And so what I did is I went and recorded some audio, and then I uploaded it here. So if I click on this, you'll hear what this specific question sounds like. So let's take a listen really quick.
Nature question 1. Lemurs are native to only one country. What country is it?
And there we go. We have our sound effects for each question. So every question reads the question aloud and then has some background music to it. And so once we finish all of the questions, we're going to perform 2 checks here. And so the first check is checking these pink points. So those are the points specific to this category. So if those points equal 5, then we're going to go down and perform the second check. But if they don't equal 5, then it'll say something like, oh, you only got this many points. See, I'm displaying the user property here. Out of 5 correct, you need all of them correct to get the category point. So if we do have 5, we're going to perform the second check, and this is to check whether or not this category has been completed previously, because earlier when I was testing, I found an exploit which basically allowed you to complete the same category to earn the category points. And so in this case, if the category has already been completed, we're going to bypass this increment user property block. And so this block is incrementing the category points, which are the points that you need to enter the photo wall. So then it'll say something like, you did it, you got all the questions correct, and now you have this many category points. And then it'll say back to categories, and then we're setting this user property of completed category as yes or a 1 if you're using numbers. And that will now in the future prevent you from going through the same category, because it will bypass this increment user property block. And so we're completing this exact same process 4 separate times. So here we have one category, we scroll down, we have the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. And so all of these are pretty much exactly the same in the way they're set up. Obviously, all of the sounds are custom made and they're all different, and all of the backgrounds, I did some digging and found some cool backgrounds, so these are all custom backgrounds. And so once you complete one of these categories, and it takes you back to the category page, but right before it takes you back to the page, we are checking to see if that time gate is still active. So what we're doing here is we're saying, hey, has 7 minutes passed yet? And if the gate is still active, what that means is that 7 minutes has not passed yet. And so because of that, we're still allowing the user to go through to the category page. But if the gate has expired, which means 7 minutes has passed, then we're going down to this little scene here which says the time is up, and it forces you to restart the entire experience. So once you've completed all the categories, you will click on this button that says Wall of Fame, and obviously you can try to click on this before, but we perform a user property check to make sure that you have all 4 category points. And if you don't, it'll say you're still missing some points, but if you do have the points, then what we're going to do here is we're going to say, congratulations, you've completed the trivia challenge and may now enter the Wall of Fame. And this is a pretty standard structure within a lot of experiences. In particular, some of our breakout experiences have this same Wall of Fame structure. So you have the option to view the photo wall, which is this web view scene. This is a photo wall that we're displaying via a web view scene. You have the option to leave a selfie, and you can see that I made a custom photo frame. frame. You can make a custom photo frame by clicking on the camera scene, and then there's a button here that says create frame, or in my case change frame, because I've already made a photo frame for this. Or you can skip the photo entirely. I don't want to force people to take a photo of themselves if they don't want to take a photo of themselves. So I usually include that option as well. So after all of this is completed, then we have a give item scene here, and what this does is it gives a trophy. This trophy has a very unique description to it, so you can check your inventory and look at this. It can't be traded for anything at this time, but I just thought if you go through all the trouble of getting every single one of these questions right, then you deserve a little trophy, you know? So we're giving the user a trophy here, and then at the end it says, thanks for playing. We will see you next time. And that, my friends, is the entire Trivia Game Show Challenge experience. So let's take a look at the overview one last time so that you can see how it's all set up. And to reiterate, what we're doing here is we have a main menu. We are setting some user properties. We're setting time gates. Each category is broken up into 5 questions. And once you complete all 5 questions correctly per category, it will award you with a point. So once you collect all 4 points, then you can enter into the Wall of Fame. But if the time expires, you need to reset the game, and that sets all of these properties back to their original states. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a lot about user properties, about scene backgrounds, about how you can utilize new audio features in specific scenes. And I hope you use what you learned in this video to make even more amazing things. So again, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.